Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in. Now, today I've got a guest that I've brought on that I've known for a long, long time. I've role-played with him in NoPixel. I now role-play with him in Time 2. He's a very, very good character. He has a very, very special voice that is very distinctive around many, many servers. And when you hear his real voice, it's amazing. I'm sure you already have, but from his game voice to his out-of-character voice, it is a hell of a difference. A genuine nice guy who's been around the block for a long, long time, and I'm very glad to bring him onto the episode. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we have BomBox on the podcast. How we doing, man?
Yo, what's good? What's good? What's good? How are we?
Do you know what, Mike? Normally, like the first question is how do you start streaming, but I want to jump straight into that character and voice.
Okay.
I want to know how it came about.
I don't know. I'm gonna be honest. It's weird.
Oh, I'll end the podcast now then.
It's really developed over time. Like, things have changed since I first started doing it. There's clips I could pull up on YouTube and show you, but I used to use a voice changer, obviously. Yeah, I've been playing Ramon. God, I used to play on a server called SVRP a long, long time ago, which was where I first made the Ramon character, and he had a deeper voice, but he didn't have like the raspiness to it. Like, I've added that over time. I'll get to that, but essentially always had a deep voice. Even when I started on NoPixel 3.0, I still had a deep voice, and again, there's clips of that. But essentially going into 4.0, which was that's where I met you. December, it's been a year now. About a year. So about a year ago, so going back into NoPixel 4.0, I decided to switch up his backstory a little bit because I hadn't played NoPixel following my breakup. So I think that was about June time. So Ramon, the character, had been missing for like 6-7 months. So I wanted to something so I could, I don't know, like a conversation starter, where have you been sort of thing. So what I decided to do was give him a big scar across his neck here. And Ramon is a big smoker of like marijuana. He had racked up a big debt with his drug dealer, and his drug dealer tried to kill him, basically, but messed up. And doing so, messed up his voice, which is where then I was watching, funny we're talking about clips. I was literally with somebody yesterday in a Discord call watching a clip of Mr. K prank calling me at the start of 4.0.
Yeah.
He was doing this prank call scams that he was doing, and he was like spamming people. He'd steal somebody's SIM card, and using that SIM card, the phone contacts that were on there, he was spam texting the people on there with just like fake advertisement and saying like, to be taken off the mailing list, you have to transfer this number, £50 or something like that. So he was making free cash just from spamming people, basically. But we had like 3 or 4 different phone calls. But even listening to Ramon's voice at the start of NoPixel 4.0, it's so different to what it is now. Like, I've added the raspiness to it. Like, it's just progressively, I feel like I've said this on stream and I've said it to more people, the more you practice something, the better you're going to get at something.
Yeah,
so I
definitely.
feel like the voice has developed over the years, and even in the span of like 10 to 12 months, the voice has completely, megally changed. Now, I feel like Ramon's voice is a bit of a, I don't know, some people like it, some people don't. Like, I've seen chatters saying like Ramon's burning head and all this sort of stuff. Like, they don't like it, but
I don't know why.
It's unique in my opinion, and it doesn't. But the comments don't bother me, honestly. But I just read it and I'm like, how can you not like the voices? It's funny.
I don't get that. And it never, the voice never breaks.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's me just not breaking character, I guess.
But you'd imagine it would be. Actually, I have seen you do it once.
What, break character?
In prison the other day when I was there and you were shouting. Do you remember when I popped up prison and everyone was, and you fucking lost it because the radio was going crazy?
I can't remember.
Oh, well, that was funny. No, because it's quite like an intense voice. Does it hurt?
No. I've got a chat command now for that, because the amount of times I get asked on a daily basis, like new viewers will come in and they'll be like, does it not hurt your voice? Or the one I get a lot is, oh my God, I can't believe what your actual voice sounds like. And I'm just like,
Yeah.
yeah. But no, it doesn't hurt. And again, I think it's just a practice. I remember when I was first doing Ramon's voice years ago on that server SVRP, where it was like I used to use the voice changer to pitch it down a tiny bit, but doing the voice in general, not the raspiness, because I feel like that's what people think hurts, is the raspiness. But doing the voice for so long used to hurt my throat.
I can imagine, yeah.
And it used to dry my throat out like crazy. But now I don't know, it doesn't. You
just get used to it, don't you? Even talking in your normal voice for hours on end, it starts to hurt, and it starts to, like you say, you start to get your mouth dry and that. But when you do like real raspiness, you'd assume it would hurt.
Yeah,
I'm just jealous because I can't do voices.
You can though, because I was in the same position as you years ago when I started my RP journey, which I want to say I started at the end of 2019, so it's been like 4 to 5 years. But I was the same. I just used to use my own voice at the very, very start, and I was like, I don't want to play myself. Like, why am I doing my own voice? I don't want to play myself. Like, I'm here to play a character. I was heavily, heavily inspired. I just mentioned his name a moment ago, Mr. K, which is where I get a lot of Ramon's attributes from, because I love my serious roleplay as much as the next person, which is what Mr. K does. But also, you can watch Lord Kabun, and when he's playing the Mr. K character, he can be serious, but then the next second he's just being an absolute donut. Like, and I just love that about him. But
he's got to be the best, hasn't he? Like, the IQ of that guy is ridiculous.
He just I don't understand, like, on the fly, like how he can just come up with some of the stuff that he does. I'll be real. Even that telephone scam that I was on about, how hard it was to make money on NoPixel. It was crazy hard to make money on NoPixel at the very, very start of the server, which is why a lot of people were doing your senior buns and all that sort of stuff, because they're the only real things that we had. But instead of choosing to work at senior buns and do that sort of content that we were doing, he thought outside of the box and was robbing people's SIM cards and using them to scam people. Like,
I suppose in NoPixel, that was kind of one of the good things in there, because the grind was so hard. It's like life, I suppose. You have to think outside the box to make money, and he did very quickly, didn't he? And he ended up buying houses and renting them out because no one could afford a house.
He was renting. He got interior designers. So buy a house, get an interior designer to split rooms. So basically making like 5 different bedrooms almost.
I didn't know that.
Renting out. Made like 5 different rooms within, because you know what it's like in
NoPixel.
Oh, it's just like a fully blank canvas and you have to build the entire thing. So he'd make like all these separate rooms within the property, and then he was renting out each room individually to people.
I didn't know that.
You know how, like, in real life you can buy a property, or there's people that do rent for rent now. So companies will rent a property, guarantee the rents, and then they'll put it on like what's the website I'm thinking of? Airbnb, and then they'll just rent out each individual room. That's essentially what he was doing, and he was making a killing from it. But then there was a whole arc where he got taken to court and all this sort of stuff because he wasn't paying energy bills, and he's the GOAT, honestly.
He does some very, very clever things. Jumping ahead, but like what interests me is, obviously you're in NoPixel and you were hanging around with big people in there. NoPixel is full of the best. What made you step away? Because a lot of us were forced to step away from being banned, but you're not. What's the decision to leave that?
I don't think Beetle is as well, by the way. I'm pretty sure Beetle.
I don't think he is. No, he's not. No.
But Beetle's probably in the similar position to me, where it became too grindy, is the easiest way of explaining it. 4.0, the economy is a very serious economy, in a sense of like realistic economy is probably the better thing to say. So the money that you get, you work like a lot of hours and you get not paid a lot for it, which unfortunately in my day in life it's not doable, because I want to wake up and I want to have fun and I want to role play and I want to make stories. There's the element of grinding. Everyone's got to put a bit of a shift in to make some money. That's completely understandable. But when I'm working, because I work on 9 to 5:30 every, Monday to Friday, I've got 4 or 5 hours of streaming time of an evening. I just want to have fun and role play. I don't want to sit. Like, I tried to give it another shot after playing Unique. And I went back in and I was, again, chilling with the Mana. So I was a Mana hang around, with SK, all the big English streamers, basically. And I was fortunate enough to be in that position. But then it was just starting to take a toll on my mental health. And I just, if all I'm doing is loading in and I'm essentially just sitting on the back of a garbage truck going around for 5 hours every evening to get materials to give to the gang, and I'm not really getting nothing from it. It's that lack of RP. It basically, you'll know it as a streamer. Like when you feel like all you're doing is grinding, and there's not really storylines and you're not having fun. It takes a toll on your mental health, not just because you're not having fun, but also your content is becoming lackluster, and you just feel like you've got no real reason for streaming, and then it all takes a toll on you, and that's why I had to just make the executive decision again, and I went back to Unique, which is where, again, I wasn't having fun, so here we are.
and now you're in time too.
Yeah,
and
a lot. Go on.
No, you go on. Finish what you're saying.
I was just going to say, which a lot of people were under the pretense that I was going to go back to Unique, which, but I think that's what I was originally saying to them. I was saying, like, it's just a holiday. I'm just coming over here to, see my uncle Beetlejuice, because Ramon and Beetle are family, by the way, if you didn't know that. Ramon doesn't just call him Uncle Beetlejuice for no reason. Like, we planned it all out, like. And there was a funny arc behind it on Unique, where Ramon had found out that Beetlejuice was his actual biological uncle, and so it was just a holiday to come and see Uncle Beetlejuice. But then Uncle Beetlejuice was immediately like, "I'm in a gang, you're in it as well," and then I was like, "Okay," and then I've just sort of run with it. But I've made obviously a lot more new friends from it all, like the likes of Tommy, Ketchup, Trevor Mona, which I didn't think would ever happen, because Ramon, Trevor Mona have never seen eye to eye. We've always had, well, on NoPixel we were fine, but it was predominantly on Unique because they were in a different gang, but we just never seen eye to eye on Unique.
I think you bring a very, very good vibe though, because like you say, Moist Boys are they're switchy, aren't they? They're serious women, but a lot of time they're fucking around, aren't they? It's very entertaining.
I think it started off as very fucking aroundy. I'm going to be honest.
It did,
especially when I first joined the server. It was just they weren't acting like a gang. Nothing was getting done. It was just just carnage, chaos, but having the title of a gang, on the side sort of thing. But essentially, I feel like since I've came, I'm not saying it's me that's switched the whole vibe, because it's not just down to me. I think a lot of people have put their heads down. Basically, they've knuckled down and sort of they want to take it more seriously. So but I agree with you in a sense of I going back to the Mr. K comment, I base a lot of my traits off of him. So not only can I be serious, and when it comes to the gang stuff, I'm always serious. If it's gang, I'm serious. If it's like anything else and we're just messing around, I can be funny. I can do whatever. It's just with the whole gang stuff, I've always done serious gang RP, so I can't really just mess around, sort of thing. I guess it's not ingrained into my
I don't know about you. I don't know about you, but I really, really struggle because I love the seriousness of things, but the longer I do it, I don't know how you feel. I find it really, really tough because you are at the end of the day playing a game, whether you're role playing or not. I find it so hard to fuck around because you almost, if your character doesn't fuck around, you join in fuck around. Are you being true to like the character. Do you know what I mean? It's tough, isn't it? And it must be really hard for you in Moist, where they're very chaotic. They're very, I want to say the term fuck around, but they do it for a valid reason.
Mm-hmm.
You find that tough, or do you just try and blend into it?
No, I think again in the setting of like Moist, when I'm around Moist and it's just me and the boys sort of thing, that's where I'm less serious and I have fun and we have a laugh. But it's when other gangs come and get involved and you know, there's the wars and stuff like that. They've appointed me war general because I've been part of many wars on loads of different servers, and I've just got my head screwed on for it because I can be that serious guy that I need to. And Ramon will always, like, I've always on any server stood on business. Like I don't, you fuck with my boys, it's on sort of thing. So I think people like that element of Ramon, and that's why they appointed him, you know, war general, because I know what I'm doing, sort of thing, when it comes down to it. But like, when I'm around them, I just mess around.
And then, like, this is one thing that's interesting. Like with war, we all know that war brings viewers.
I shocked you as well during the war, didn't I? I remember seeing a clip and you was like, "Nah, this isn't Moist Boys. This has got to be." I can't remember who it was now.
I think I thought it was the Offenders, because
the Offenders. So
we were just strolling about and I got beamed. I said, "That is not BomBox." I was like, "That's not." I was like, "Who the fuck is that?" Yeah. I was just running across and I got beamed. I was like, "Wow."
No, this has to be Offenders. I saw it and I was like, "Nope, that's me."
No, it was. But like, yeah, with like, you guys are in a war every week, aren't you? Mm-hmm. Do you enjoy that? I don't think you can disagree. Fuck me, you've started another one before you finished the other one.
No, we Salim.
Well, yes, true.
We haven't been in war like every week, so it's been, but it recently, yes, it has, and it feels that way. But trying to keep Salim to calm down has been near enough impossible. So
I don't think it can be done.
Can't. People, I can't remember who it was I was speaking to. I don't know. His Crim character, Saf's Crim character, Mike Bassett, is
Mike?
It?
Yeah, Mike.
He came to the bot the other day and he was just talking about this, that, or the other, the Solomon War, etc., etc. And then he started talking about Salim and keeping him on a leash. And I just had to sort of say to him, "Look, you're not. First of all, you're not in a position to tell us what the fuck to do. That's my boy."
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that's who he is. And if he does fuck around, I'll back it. But you know, it's difficult to keep Salim. You can't. The thing that I will say is that you can't force somebody to change their character. Like, if I wasn't right for Moist Boys because of my character's personality or traits or anything like that, then so be it. You know what I mean? But I would never sit down with Salim out of character and go, "Bro, you really need to stop doing this," because one way or the other, that's the Salim character. That's the Salim that everyone knows and loves. And that's why he's doing so well on Twitch, is because, you know, he does that chaos RP, and he does that chaos RP so well.
He does, yeah. He does, yeah.
And he does it so well. So why would you sit with somebody who's absolutely smashing numbers, smashing subs, smashing follower goal, every goal possible, and sit down with him OOC and go, "Look, bro, you've got to stop."
Yeah, like, change the way you do so well.
Yeah, exactly. Change, because as soon as if he was to take a step down and like start doing serious RP, he might not be doing as well as he is now, and he should just take the reins and just carry on being the Salim that everyone knows and loves. And I love it. I love the character. I watch him when I'm at work, and I watch him, you know, when I've got time.
I do think, though, I think he could, not to change him, but I think he could pull off some really good stuff and surprise people and still make it very entertaining.
Oh yeah, for sure. The only thing that I would say, and he has openly said this to me, and I think he's said it to chat as well, is he needs to, I can't remember the wording that he said, the rash decisions, like quick decisions, like the whole shooting you. I somewhat told him off about that, and I said, like, you could have dragged that out, the scene out a little bit longer.
Yeah.
And he he held his hands up and just said, "Yeah, I could have."
That's the thing with him.
It was just in the moment. Like,
yeah,
people are gonna make mistakes. It's inevitable.
that was a very, very good scene, and he was the man in the server to pull it off. Listen, you know yourself. Scenes don't always go your way. But I was thinking, let's bring Salim in, because that was just before the meeting where literally it was Salim, stop being a dick in the whole meeting. So I was like, right, let's bring Salim in and let's bring Salim into something serious. I got proven you can't do that.
Yeah.
time and time again.
It happens so much with I guess it's kind of links to what you were asking about how the Moist Boys are and stuff like that.
Unpredictable.
But like, when we're trying to sit down and I don't know if you've watched it, I'm sure you have, but like when we're trying to have a serious meeting, I ended up stabbing Salim recently because he kept, what was he doing? He was throwing newspapers at my head or something like that during a serious meeting. And I said, like, do that one more time. And he did it again. So I ran at him and just stabbed him.
I can't watch Moist Boys meetings. They go on for hours.
Yeah. Well, that's not, it could last 10 minutes.
Yeah.
But because people are fucking around and people are just talking over each other, there's times where I have to literally, you wouldn't have, I don't think you'd have seen it, but my viewers will tell you, like, I'll start saying, like, I'm zoning out because I'm getting overwhelmed because so many people are talking. My ADHD just starts going crazy and I get overwhelmed. So I start getting angry. Like, every person's a content creator, aren't they? So they want to speak. That's the problem. You want if you're streaming, you want to be the center of attention. It's your job, and then you put all of them in a crew. It's all, well, I don't even know if it's organized chaos. I think it's just chaos, but it's very entertaining. Yeah, it is fun, but there are times, like I said, that I'll start getting too overwhelmed because there's too many voices happening, and I'm just like, someone shut up. Just let one person talk. It's not that hard, but yeah.
That gets to me a lot when you've got, especially when you've got headphones that are so clear and you've got boom, 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 and you just go, I can't handle this.
It's not Ramon that's doing that. It's me. I even say it in Ramon's voice sometimes, like, guys, I'm getting overwhelmed. You have to stop because there's literally just so much noise happening that my ADHD just starts going crazy and I'm about to snap at somebody. Yeah,
I feel you on that one. It's crazy, and Moist is the place for that, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is, unfortunately.
So how long have you been streaming then in total?
So, over the years, so this account that I'm on now, I did have an account beforehand, but it's just been games like Call of Duty, Apex, and I just used to click go live when I fancied it. Then around 3 years ago, I started taking it a little bit seriously, which is where, so I'd started GTA RP in like 2019, 2020 time. Then I think it would have been about 2021, which is where I actually started like streaming properly. And that's where my character Teddy Graves met Dust Monkey's character, Solomon Walker. It's still the same character he plays now, and that was on Wild RP, which is the easiest way of explaining it, the NoPixel of.
Is it Wild or Wild West?
No, Wild, just Wild RP.
Okay.
And it's like the NoPixel of
Red Dead's even more. It's even more intense, isn't it?
Yeah. So Red Dead Redemption, it's all about stories, and it's all about, you can make money, but you don't necessarily have to grind. You can do it all through like business RP and business relationships, which is where I think the Solomon character bringing it to GTA, he does that very well. Do you know what I mean? Because he's been doing it for a long time on Red Dead Redemption. But essentially, streaming wise, started on Wild RP, and I was in a crew with Solomon and a guy called Blitzy Games, who played Charlie Walker, which is Solomon's brother, who he still talks about now. He mentioned it in the most recent killing of Dougie. He said, "Say hello to my brother, Charlie." And then I stopped for a little bit. And then I picked it back up again in December 2022, January 2023. And I was still playing Red Dead Redemption, but this time I was playing with a guy called Jugs, who used to play on NoPixel as a character called Lenny Large. But we were playing on a server called Gold Rush RP, and we were playing brothers doing our impressions. You know, where I speak like this sort of thing. How are we? Yeah, you okay? And I played a character called Teddy Solomon, and he played Tommy Solomon. And the story arc was wicked. And last year I was averaging about 50 viewers, which I feel like is pretty decent for Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yeah.
It's a very niche game. And I was averaging pretty much sort of like the subs that I get now, around like 300 subs sort of thing. So I was doing really well last year. And then went through my breakup, which you and I have spoke about already, out of character. In July time of last year, June, July time of last year. And then I completely stopped, obviously went off the map. I was off the rails, as you do after a breakup. And I picked up NoPixel 4.0. Obviously, I streamed NoPixel 3.0 in that period of time that I'm just talking about as well. But I picked up 4.0 when it first came out, and I was just playing it offline. I just wanted to. I'd stopped playing games for a long time, like about 5-6 months, and I seen the updates for 4.0 coming out, and I was like, that looks pretty sick. I need to try it out. So I was not stream sniping, Q sniping every morning.
Stream sniping.
They're two really big different things. But no, Q sniping in the morning. So I was waking up at like, I think the server reset is at like 6 in the morning. So I was getting up at like 5:45 or something like that to be ready for bang on 6 o'clock in the morning. And then I was getting in the city. And people, you know, I started chilling with like Speedy and like all these big people. And people were jumping in my DMs left, right, and center saying, like, why are you not streaming right now? You should be streaming, sort of thing. And I was like, maybe. And then I played over Christmas. And then literally the 1st of January came this year. And I was like, fuck it. I'm going to go for it, sort of thing. So I went for it, and then I haven't looked back. I haven't stopped. The only real break I've had this year was Benidorm a couple of weeks ago. But that's it. Other than that, I just stream Monday to Friday, and then I tend to have weekends to myself because that's when haven't got work, haven't got anything. So it gives me that sort of sit down time to play a game that I like, or get my housework done, or, you know, see my family. Just be Josh, not BomBox. You know what I mean?
Do you plan to be a full-time streamer? Is that the goal?
If I had the opportunity to, I think that anybody would. It's a huge risk for me to do it now full time because it's not enough money for me to be able to live. I'll be honest. But I don't see it for that. I've always, when I've streamed years, what I've just explained a moment ago, is that I've never streamed for the money. It's obviously something that comes with streaming and people supporting you and all that sort of stuff, which I adore. It's just a little bit of extra bonus each month for me at the moment because I work a full 9 to 5:30. So it's a perk or like a bonus that comes with streaming, but it's certainly not I'm not in a position to. But I think if anybody was given the opportunity to and was getting the numbers that they require, that they would. I feel like I'd have to. I'm not even partner at the moment, dude. So like, I'm certainly not in a position to.
That can't be. You can't be far off that at all now.
I put it out to my Discord yesterday. So I think for September I averaged about 68, and then for October I've averaged like 120. So I've met the requirements. If I can push for November, then I apply. I should be okay.
Can you apply now or not?
No, I've been able to apply since February. So what happened was in NoPixel, things were going great, amazing. I was averaging well over 100 viewers every stream, chilling with Speedy. You know, I was part of like Speedy's quote unquote crew. And then I'm just going to say it straight up how it is. I don't care. Some shit RP happened. I decided to tell somebody. Look, Speedy was off on holiday, like in real life. I think he was in Thailand or something like that. and I told one of the other Speedy had resolved this conflict that I had with a guy called Stevie, who was also in the group. I don't know if you remember Stevie, the bald head guy.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
But we basically resolved all of the situation, but like in Ramon's head, it hadn't been resolved. It was just because Speedy had said it had been resolved, and he'd had a conversation with Stevie about being a potential snitch and a rat, that he I just sort of like left it for a little bit. Then when Speedy was on holiday, we were talking about different crew members to like one of the bigger bosses that are in that crew, and I sort of said to him like, look, this situation happened a long time ago, and I'm going to be honest to you, I still don't really trust him as much as Speedy's told me to leave it, sort of thing. I don't really trust him because he did this to me, where basically I took somebody from Senior Buns into the subway and fucked them up, and the police turned up, and the only person that knew I went down there was this Stevie. There was no other way. So it was like Stevie had done a /911. You know what I mean? And called and told them. But essentially the shit RP was because I'd done that boss that I'd said it to said that I'd quote unquote opened Pandora's box and was trying to cause conflict in the group. And then he just stabbed me in, and that was it. It was just some dead RP. But because I'd been blooded out of that crew, basically now all of the viewers that watch and surround that crew had then just boom. So my numbers went from like averaging 120 to 150 per se, most streams, back down to my OGs that have watched me from day dot. So I was back down to like 30, 40, which was, as you know, demoralizing.
I was going to say, I know everyone goes through their streaming journey. We've all been there on one viewer. And it's the growth, isn't it? To get to big, like when you hang around with these big peoples, you can skyrocket.
Yeah.
But I don't know what the word would be. I don't think humble's the fucking word. I think the word is like one step forward, two steps back, isn't it? To get to that level where you go, I've done it. I'm fucking where I want to be. And then boom, you go back to the grind and you're like, it's not once, is it?
Well, fortunately, it wasn't a quote unquote grind again, because the guys that had always been with me were still with me, and I'm forever grateful for them, you know. And but it does knock you for six, because you're just like, what have I done wrong?
Yeah.
Well, you know, although but the real reason behind it all is that these viewers are purely just there for that crew. You know what I mean? They're purely just there for that crew, and they want to watch the RP behind that crew. And now you're not part of them, they just start to trickle off. I do still have the odd Speedy viewer that will chill in my chat and be like, "Oh my god, it's good to see Ramon's doing well, and you're still doing your thing and stuff like that." But like a lot of, you know, I'm grateful to be in a position that I am regardless. But like that's essentially what happened. I'd gone from averaging really good, and I hit partner requirements. I applied and was rejected. Then I haven't applied because I went to unique and all this sort of stuff. Like my been averaging like anything between like 30 to 60, I'd say, for quite some times, like many months. And then coming here, I mean, even coming to Time 2, like I literally only came to Time 2 purely because I wasn't happy at unique. But I've just been fortunate I'm starting to see some more viewers coming in and showing me some love now. It hasn't been instant. Like I've been on Time 2 for 2 months now, and I've still been averaging about 40 to 60. Like it's still been exactly the same for the last 2 months. But during these wars, I've certainly seen an influx in viewers, and that's what war does. People love war.
Do you think that the serious RP now is kind of gone? Do you think that? Because if you look at a lot of streamers that do very, very well, they're very straight to the point. They're very fuck around, and then you look at like the serious side of it.
I think a lot of the serious content creators come from the US. I think a lot of the UK, but that's because I think, again, because of our banter. I think a lot of the UK role players are very heavily like fuck around and have fun and banter and all that sort of stuff. But as you know, being role playing in NoPixel, all the American content creators, they are very cutthroat, very serious, and they don't understand a lot of our banter as well. The Americans, like the Americans, for whatever reason, like the Americans, I've been to America twice, and they are super friendly, like ridiculously friendly, to the point where you can walk down the street and strangers are going like saying hello and stuff like that. That doesn't happen here. But like when it comes to role play, they are completely different people. They don't get our banter. I would go probably as far as saying they hate English people in role play.
I will agree. Yeah, I think that could be proven with loads of things. They just the barrier. But then again, I will say a lot like Americans in role play. I don't find them funny, but we get the same respect back. But obviously, America is ginormous.
Yeah,
and we're outnumbered. But yeah, I think
it's
don't like it.
It's crazy. Like I feel like I've seen people getting warnings in American servers and stuff for purely calling somebody a bitch, which here you wouldn't get any repercussions for that because it's not that bad of an insult. But like if you call a woman a bitch, like they hate it.
Do you know when I first started roleplay, I won't say the word, but you know the F slur in America.
Yes.
Over here, that is absolutely nothing.
I feel like it is, but I agree with I think our generation. I think how old are you again?
I'm 31.
Yeah, I'm 30. So I think like our generation, me being a teenager and you being a teenager, that was part of our vocabulary.
Yeah,
like it was part of mine. But like I don't feel like that's an American thing. I feel that's more of like as time have gone on, we need to be a bit more careful about what we're saying, sort of thing, because people can take it.
I think it's like the death penalty over there. Like it's just that word.
Yeah.
Over there is, oh my god, permaban. We're not speaking to you. How dare you say that? And you're like,
again, I don't think, but again, I think that's more of a role play thing, not necessarily actual Americans. Because I've heard a lot of Americans say that in COD lobbies. Trust me.
Yeah,
but I think it's more because NoPixel is very. They promote their LGBT. Whatever, I can't remember the exact thingy, but they promote that
LGBTQ plus or something. I don't know.
So they promote that a lot in their server, and they have a lot of people within their server that are part of that community, and it's just they're trying to protect them, I guess. Yeah,
it's like going towards like the stuff they say in America, but we get it back. They say some stuff to us over there, and you're like I don't know how to. I can't really say it, but some of the stuff they say, like if you say the word, how do I say it on recorded? it's the N word, but not the racist one. The NO. Do you know the one? NONCE.
Oh yeah.
Over in the UK, that's a very very bad insult.
I feel like you could just say that. In the UK, it's a bad insult,
but Americans will, if they hear about it, they just throw it around left, right, and center.
Yeah,
they don't understand it.
That's because they don't understand it. Yeah, they don't know what the word actually means.
But they say that to us, and we're like you say, out of roleplay, we all say it, but in roleplay, you're like, no, they just say it.
Yeah,
and they just go for it, and you're like, oh no, you can't say that. But it's crazy, like the barriers of what different like terms and insults and say. It's hard to keep up with, isn't it? And it's scary.
Yeah, it really is. There's a big difference between a UK server and a US server. I'd never played UK based servers or like a UK heavy populated server. I've always been on American servers, and I'll be completely honest, I prefer American servers in regards to the mechanics and stuff like that. The whole being able to shoot and all that sort of stuff. In the UK servers, it's predominantly knives and hand weapons and all that sort of stuff, melee fights. But I prefer gunfights and the American law and stuff like that when it comes to roleplay. But certainly the communities are a hell of a lot different as well.
I am the trouble with like gunfights is it's always so quick, isn't it? That's the beauty of UK ones is tends to be very drawn out, which helps so much because you don't have the game mechanic in there, which that's one thing that is good. But then it's just learn it. But then you use that. You look at Red Dead Redemption. Everyone has a gun.
Oh yeah, well that's because of the law. But the law back then,
very rare they're used, isn't it? As much, which is crazy.
Depends on the server you're playing, I'm guessing. I'm guessing because I've been in some Red Dead Redemption servers that are quite questionable, but I've also been in the more serious, heavy ones, and people only really draw their weapons if needed. You know what I mean? You go in some Red Dead servers and it's just like RDM everywhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, certainly the better servers on Red Dead Redemption. The story,
Now,
some of the storylines I've had on Red Dead, honestly, yeah, unbeaten. Like I would, if Red Dead was more popular, I'd be playing that game 24/7.
I think the thing with Red Dead is you are forced to be a character, aren't you? Whether you like it or not, because you're not set in this time. I can't go in there speaking the way I do, like, all right, mush. Like the vocabulary doesn't exist.
Yeah,
I think that's why Red Dead's so much better, because you have to. GTA, you could be yourself if you want.
I feel like that's where, like, talking about like Dust Monkey earlier and stuff like that, I feel like that's why he's doing so well, because he's so good at the serious RP, and that's where he gets it from. I don't know if he started on Red Dead Redemption, but obviously that's where I met him years ago. And playing with Dust, I've said this on stream many times, so yeah, it sounds like I'm blowing smoke up his ass, but I don't really care. But when I first met Dust, he didn't make me do anything, but like playing with him, I upped my serious RP game. I was like, this guy is incredible. And just watching him, and he was doing, like, whilst talking, he was doing all the emotes and stuff like that. Whereas back then, like 4 years ago, I wasn't really making use of like the emotes and stuff to make things more passionate. Because you can be talking to somebody, and if you do like / in GTA, like /E argue or something, you'll know, like when Ramon's angry, I'll do /E argue, and I'm doing the hand movements, and it makes things look more realistic. Like instead of just standing still, going crazy at somebody, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he made it like watching him and him doing things like that and using the emote menu and all that sort of stuff, I just leveled up my game from there. So I feel like that's why I can do serious RP quite well as well, is because of my Red Dead Redemption background. I'm going to be completely honest. The game is goated, and highly recommend for anybody that wants to give it a go.
It is good fun, like you say. I've done a bit of it, but it's
I feel like if you got on a good server, Cosney, that you would get engrossed. The game, like, you think GTA sucks you in, that game sucks you in. You can be in there for, like, I could be on Red Dead Redemption RP for like 8 hours at a time, easy. That's the game that, like, now thinking of a 24-hour stream, it makes my feet curl. Like, I hate the thought of a 24-hour. But last year when I was streaming Red Dead Redemption, every month I'd do a 24-hour stream.
Probably because it takes about 3 years to cross the map on a fucking horse.
That's one thing. That's one thing. But they do have a mechanic. They do have a mechanic on there, and it's a beautiful mechanic as well. Where if you just select where you want to go on your mini map, and then you put it in cinematic mode, the horse will just take you, and you get all these nice like camera angles, panning and stuff like that, and it makes your content look even better. You know what I mean? Like it's very cinematic. And
I do like Red Dead because you have the travel time. You just have these slow walks where you're just talking, chilling, but it's just so slow paced. From a content point of view, that just the punch is just not there, is it?
No.
It's not that. It's so slow, but then when the stories do come, they are unreal. And there's so many
dragged out as well. They're dragged out as well. Like they're not. It's a lot of, even like when it comes down to war and stuff like that. There's a lot of talking that happens. A lot of sitting down and debating whether to do this or to do that, or you sending telegrams to each other. We have to meet up at this location at this time, sort of thing. And it's not as easy as just picking up a phone and saying, come and meet me here, sort of thing. You've got to check the telegrams, and like everything's a lot more slower and drawn out. Whereas in GTA, it's just like, oh, you've shot my boy, yeah, right, it's on, like Donkey Kong, you know what I mean? And then it's just quick.
I wish it was
more drawn out on GTA.
and it can be done. I suppose it's just down to us as the role players to do it. But you have to. People want to win, don't they? So they want to be the first. And if you want to be the first, you almost need to be the quickest.
And I don't understand the whole W mentality. Like people, our peers need to snap out of that, because taking an L sometimes can be some of the best RP that you're gonna get. Look at you recently. It's just been, sorry to say it, but L after L after L. You know,
I know you don't have to fucking tell me. You don't have to tell me.
No, I'm not trying to rub it in or anything. But look at what he's been doing, not only for your stream and stuff. Like, your stream has been absolutely booming. The amount of RP that you've created, not only for yourself, but for all of the people surrounding you, the PD, lawyers, absolutely everything like that. Sometimes taking an L can make some of the best storylines. I had to say it the other day in my chat, because I had so many people spamming, like, why the hell have you just done that? You've got a PD Glock. Because Saf was chasing Ketchup, and I jumped out the car on the block and ran off. And obviously, police continued to chase him, but Saf decided to come after me. So he pulled into the block. And then I'm fortunate that Saf went along with the RP, because he's a goated RPer. But basically, I offered him to a Mexican standoff. I said, yeah, I have got a gun. I said, but how's about we go back to back? We take 3 steps and we go for it. And he went along with it. But then he won the gunfight. But then so many people were in my chat saying, like, why have you just done that? It's a PD Glock. Are you going to get sent down? Blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I don't care. It was fun.
I think the problem is, like you say, I take L after L after L, but people don't sit back and see the L's that you are taking, from my point of view. And I get it from winning. People love to see you win. People think you're good. When you start taking L's, you are just viewed as an idiot. You're viewed as shit. You're viewed as an idiot. Even when you put yourself in positions where I am forever giving cops opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
And my chat is like, what are you doing? You're going to kick off when they bite you in the ass. Yeah, probably. But I'm still pushing it out to other people. And I tend to put myself in the position to take a lot of L's.
Mm-hmm.
From my point of view, I just I wish people would stand back and look at it a bit better and go, he's not actually been stupid. He's kind of let. This is like the conversation me and Saf had. It's leaving breadcrumbs. The other day, I kidnapped an officer and let her go after she's seen my face, my name, everything.
Mm-hmm.
The most ridiculous thing there would be to let her go.
But
I think everyone can agree on it.
Surely I'm not the only person. Like, you're saying that, but that's the mentality that I've got. I can see that the L's you've been taking, but I'm not sat here going, you're a flipping idiot. I'm saying, like, well done for actually taking the L's and creating so much RP.
From viewer point of view, they don't. I see the comments, and from my point of view, it's really, really frustrating. I see the comments.
I get that, but between you and I, it's the same thing I say to like Beetle and stuff like that. Sometimes you've just got to ignore the chatters, because you are the role player at the end of the day. You are making the story. You are doing whatever you want to do, and it's got nothing to do with anybody apart from you. And whatever they say, it's your story. It's how you want to take the character, and whether that be taking an L or a W, you know, if it's L after L after L, that's what you want to do. And
L's provide the best content, and I think
they do, personally.
If you're in control of your own L in essence, that means you are willing to extend the scene as long as possible. It doesn't mean you don't want to win. I mean, if you can take an opportunity to win, then great. But this is what people, coming from the likes of like yourself and where we have been, stories are a lot more prolonged, and you kind of have that, you have the OOC understanding.
Yeah.
Whereas, let's just say where we are now, it's a lot quicker. So I don't know about yourself, from my point of view, if I go and meet someone for war terms, I normally would understand that this is a conversation. We have a mutual agreement, OOC. Yeah. This is best for everyone. We meet, we talk. Because I think you had a situation the other day, didn't you, where you met in Legion?
Yeah, with EBK.
And I suppose you would be you're meeting in Legion. This is a conversation. You are right by a police station. This isn't going to go anywhere.
That's why I chose that location, by the way. And they were laughing at me down the phone saying, you want to meet in Legion? And I was saying to them, we're not coming to your block because you could have 15 people attack us. Like, it's not going to happen. I said, we're meeting on neutral ground. Legion is exactly halfway between Mirror Park and our block. And in my head, I knew it was right by the police station. So I thought that nothing would happen. But you saw how it turned.
And how wrong were you? Yeah. But that's one thing that does annoy me is it's that W mentality. People don't understand the content point of view. I love the meetings where you sort of hold the bar and you know OOC, you can say whatever you want to someone and you're all going to walk away understanding what is next.
Yeah.
I wish people would understand the beauty of that.
That's what I wanted to happen. It didn't turn out that way due to EBK doing whatever they'd done, and they got slammed anyway. So W ketchup, by the way. But essentially, that's what I wanted to happen. I wanted to have a conversation with them. I wanted to understand what has happened because I've been at work. I didn't know.
Yeah.
I've only been told little dribs and drabs before we've got there. Literally, I just woke up, tried to speak to the boys, and was like, we got to go straight to a meeting. So I was trying to understand what had happened. Now, I can see it from their point of view. Like, after when I spoke to them, they said they were frustrated because they were waiting 20 minutes because we had a sidebar. It wasn't 20 minutes in hindsight. It was about 9-10 minutes tops. And they just decided to shoot without really any initiation. Like, if you watch the clips, like, I had a sidebar with Salim away from the sidebar we were having as Moist Boys, and then that's when it all kicked off. And I didn't have a gun out, nothing. Just talking to Salim, and next minute bullets are flying past my head. I'm like, what the fuck?
It's like me and you were in war, and then like me and you were like, right, we've known each other for years. This is me and you talking. And like, again, OOC, we were there for like 45 minutes.
Oh yeah,
we both know nothing is going to happen. So you can say what you want. You can disrespect people to a level for entertainment. I do wish more people would understand that. Drag it out. Say what you fucking want. Do what you fucking want, but just respect. You don't need to pull a weapon. You don't need to do this. Walk away. Start again. And I wish more people would do that.
I think this is probably what you're trying to say, is that I wish that more people would have conversations in between the war, if that makes sense. I feel like, especially with the war that we had recently with the Gambinos, is that I was trying to viewers will know from watching me, I was trying to call them and talk to them, or like to sit down with them to sort the war terms and, you know, try and come to a resolution. But there was times, especially with that group, that they were just like, when I caught their underboss like lacking, like 4 of us did. And I'm trying to talk to him about the war terms. So I'm like, you're the person that I need to speak to. I've been speaking to the wrong person. Now I've got you. Like, this is what we're going to do, sort of thing. And he was just like, we don't want the war. We don't want the war. I'll just give you 25,000, 50,000, whatever it was. And just to end it, we don't. And I'm like in my head, I'm like, come on, you're meant to be a gang. Like, act like a gangster. Like, stand on business a little bit. And I tried to say that to him in character, and he still weren't having none of it. He was just crying. And then I ended up just 2-tapping him in the head and just said, like, fuck this shit. But I just wish that more people would just, maybe you have 1 or 2 exchanges, you have a couple of fights, and then you sit down and have a conversation, trying to resolve it. Then, you go again and you have a couple more fights, and then you sit down again to try and resolve it. It just doesn't seem like that at the moment. It just seems like it's literally, especially with the EBK war that we had recently, it was just back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. But even in that war, I found that war weird, and I've said it on stream. Like, with the EBK war, there was times where we were like scraping their sprays, and they would come patrolling past the sprays, start shooting, so we'd start shooting too. So they're doing like a drive-by essentially to check on their sprays and quote unquote protect it, which is what you're meant to do. Well, it's not what you're meant to do. That's what you'd like to think they're going to do, because they don't want to be wiped, because if they get fully wiped, they're going to lose their bench, their turf, everything like that. But they'd come past and do a drive-by, and instead of then getting out and getting into a shootout with us, there was 2 occasions they drove straight to our block and caught one person lacking and stole their stuff. And so we're taking their sprays. They shoot at us, we shoot back. They drive off. They go straight to our block, and they caught Yusuf lacking the first time, and they caught Trev lacking the second time. And they just beat them up, take the stuff off them, and then that's it. Like, then you technically haven't got a 1-up. Like, I just don't understand it. Like, if somebody was taking our sprays, I'd be straight to the block shooting, and I wouldn't. That's where I'm going down.
I arrested two of the EBK during a shootout between Ketchup and Tommy. I was on PD, and
was this when they were? Was this early hours of the morning when they just Tommy and Ketchup stayed on?
They were fucking livid because that was the same night as the Legion shootout. Now, Ketchup and that were attacking their block, and it ended up coming out of their block.
Oh, is this where they were in the car shootout that ended up right by the police station?
Yeah. And I was kind of like, on PD, I am terrified to shoot. I'm terrified of getting fired. It's very rare I do shoot because I'm scared. And I also want to give respect to Crims as well. I was literally there like, you're outside PD, put your gun away. And he was like, no, I'm in a war. I said, put your gun away. And he ended up getting blown up by his own car. I was like, you're done, mate. Give me your fucking gun. He was like, you can't get involved. Same as Legion. You know, when you were all having
you can get involved. You if you watch the clip, I know what you're about to say. If you watch the clip, you'll hear Ramon or me say, we need to get out of here. The police are going to come straight in. Like, I think we're not on gang turf.
You were really, really lucky, and I think you were given like benefit of the doubt because I was first on scene to the Legion shootout. And in the end of the day, I've got content, haven't I, as police, and police have content.
Yeah.
In my eyes, my content's being taken away there. And you're on Legion. I was literally there, like, what do I do? And everyone's like, observe. I'm like, I want to get involved. Like, let's do this.
I wish you would have. I'll be honest. I wish you would have because it'd have made things.
But to be honest,
interesting.
You've been around a while, and you would get it. Necessarily, not everyone does, do they? People, because PD have got these rules where you can get up to 4 fights. I think I upset people as it is without even meaning to. I don't want to intend to upset people, but I should have got involved. There shouldn't be this PD bullshit sometimes of, I need to tell you. Nah, you're in Legion Square. But I think that kind of set the bar in that situation that if anyone ever does that again, just shoot them.
Yeah.
Because we all want to have fun. We all want to have shootouts, don't they? Shootouts are fun when there's a time and a place. But it would have been good to get involved in that. But yeah, it would back to it. It's like it just extending stories. It's it makes things so much more fun and take your time
that could have created so much. Like if you got involved, we could have got shot down. They could have got shot down. Then we could have been, all of us lost our weapons, like on their side and our side, which we could have been even more pissed at them, and it could have changed the entire direction of the story. That's what a lot of people don't understand. Like, if somebody was to do something in character, the littlest thing, it changes the entire direction of where. And it's what's it called? Like the multiverse of madness, whatever it is, where like you got different timelines and stuff like that. That's what RP literally is. If that was a little bit different, it would have gone off this way, but it's gone this way. You know what I mean? Imagine.
I had a you went in yesterday, were you?
No, not off.
I was on PD and something happened with Mona. I'm not entirely sure what. I kind of have a gist where everyone's against her. Now, I transport her back to hospital, okay?
Yeah.
And I'm checking her pulse and she's like, was
that actually Mona though?
Yeah.
Because I'm curious because I could have swore that I was watching you at the time and you were explaining that you'd shot somebody, like, I don't know, you'd killed somebody or something. And I tuned into M's stream and I'm sure she was somewhere else. She wasn't even in the hospital.
It was Mona. She either put a hairband on or shaved her head. I thought it was a guy. And on the police character, I fuck about a lot to get away from my other serious side. and she's not responding. I'm like, fuck it, I'll just water dump her. And she's like, I checked the post. She's like, T/me holds breath, pretends to be dead. I'm like, like that. That's not how Pulse works. And it ended up more and more officers were coming in, and I had chat jumpers up coming over like, this is part of something bigger. I was like, well, who am I to restrict whatever she wants to do?
Yeah.
And so many people got involved, and then I was just like, I know what she wants here, but how the fuck do I pull this off? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know what her direction is with RP at the moment, I'll be honest. But there's I know Trev and Mona have been kicked off the gang laptop at the moment. I don't know the full ins and outs, so I'm gonna be honest. There's over the last couple of days, especially with the whole Solomon stuff, a lot of the RP's been happening when I've been at work, and then I've been getting on, and as I'm getting on, a lot of, like, literally the last 2 days I've got on, everyone's like, we're going off, we're knackered, sort of thing. So I've just been like, oh, okay. Must be
so frustrating for you to like lurk around and watch things and then come in and go like, right, what's happened? I don't you hate that when you have to, you kind of know what's happened already?
I think it was Thursday. I sort of knew what was happening out of character to an extent, because I'd been watching streams and stuff whilst I've been at work. But then I came into the city. I'd been given the lowdown to an extent, and then people were going off going off. I think there was something to do with the offenders taking Beetlejuice and all this sort of stuff. But then they'd come to an agreement that Trevor Mona are not part of the gang anymore. And we'd sort of stuck to that agreement, but then they called up after demanding 50,000 as well. So I called them up, and I basically, everyone had gone to bed, but I called up and said, look, you're not getting the 50,000. Like, it's, if you go into a meeting and you've agreed to something, you can't walk away from that meeting and then go, actually, we want this as well. Like, that's just not how it's going to go down, bro. And he was pretty cool with it. So yeah, it's not annoying. It's not annoying per se. I find it funny a lot of the time, because I've been watching and I then wake up like, oh, what's happened? I don't know what's happened.
Yeah.
But really, I know what's going on. I need to be told in character to be able to run with the information. Otherwise, you're messing. So
yeah. I find it so frustrating when you have to come in and hear it, especially when it's so much. And within Moist Boys, it must be like that every day. You come in, what's happened, and it's about an hour worth of information that you have to catch up on, because there's so much that fucking happens.
It's always the way. And the thing is, a lot of the boys start like whilst I'm still at work. So like, say Salim has been up to something and he's caused chaos. He's done it whilst I'm at work. So I'm always coming back to like finding out this has happened, that's happened, But it's always funny.
Now, this episode is going to release not this Tuesday, but next Tuesday. You're currently in a war with Solomon, but I've seen Shano's stream this morning that it's over. Is it done?
No comment.
Okay. I woke up this morning and I saw Shano, like, there was a big pin comment, the war is over. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say nothing here just because I don't feel it's my place to, as you can probably respect. But conversations have happened, let's just put it that way. Whether or not things have changed come when this episode releases, we won't know.
Just stay tuned and watch the show. Yeah,
just watch the show. Pretty much. If it's still called off come the Tuesday this releases, then it's still called off. But something may happen.
What are you going to do in the meantime? Find another war?
I tell you what, I personally need to do is I need to make some goddamn money, because I've got $250 in the bank. I have no cars. I have zero assets. I've got nothing. So I do need to knuckle down and get myself things. Because at the moment, like, to be fair, when it comes to roleplay, as long as I'm getting roleplay and I'm enjoying myself, I don't care about money. I don't care about assets. But sometimes it's nice to just be like, I need to go and do this, grab my car. Or like, you know what I mean? I'm always stealing cars.
Do you not have a car then?
Nothing. Nada. I've got a house that's in my name, but it's only because Ketchup gave it me.
That must be a tricky thing for you with the hours that you get to play. Like you say, everyone needs to grind, but no one really wants to watch it.
But that's exactly, and that stems back to what I was talking about with NoPixel 4.0, is that like, because I was doing a lot of things for the gang, I was never really making my own cash. So I was always in the mentality of like, I'm never going to afford anything because of how realistic the economy is. I'm never going to be able to afford a car. I'm never going to be able to buy my own house because literally all my money and my time is going towards providing stuff to the gang, proving to them that I want to be a part of their gang and giving them resources such as materials and all that sort of stuff. Plus, you know, one of the mechanics in NoPixel is that you've got to clean a lot of money. You know, you don't
and get robbed doing it most of the time.
Get robbed. You got the chance of getting robbed and stuff like that. And you know, I was doing stuff like that for the gang to clean their money. So like, I was never really getting my own cash, and that's one thing that I like about Time 2, and it's one thing that I liked about Unique. Obviously, playing on Unique just before coming over to Time 2. Is that the server, you know, it's a server that's not realistic economy. You know, you can do a job and get paid pretty decent for it. So it's a lot easier to afford things.
Were you in the community meeting that we had a couple of weeks ago? Were you there? Or did you watch it back for Time 2?
I sat and watched a community meeting. I don't know if it's the same. Have they only ever had one?
They had one before the server, and then they had one the other week with the server running.
I was in one where Saf ended up joining and talking about something. There's a bunch of people that took the floor, basically. It might be the same one.
I find it funny when people were moaning about the grinding in Time 2, and then you're like, you can appreciate, you sit back, you're like, you have no...
You have no idea what grinding is.
I was in NoPixel for 3 months, every day.
It was longer than that, no?
3-4 months every day, 7 a.m. till 7 p.m. minimum, and if I was lucky, longer. The only vehicle I bought in NoPixel was a fucking rat loader, which was $5,000. Because for a start, you couldn't even buy a car; they weren't there.
Yeah.
And then when they did come about, again, they weren't there. And yeah, and people have no idea what the grind is.
Mm-hmm.
Time 2 is easy.
Yeah.
You have to work for guns, and they are hard to get. Items for heists are hard to get. Everything else is easy.
Making money in general is a lot easier.
Yeah,
I completely agree. But that's one. Not only NoPixel, but like Unique done a huge update, and it was exactly the same. I felt like I was playing NoPixel again. Like it was a serious economy, only way of making money through the jobs and stuff, but you were spending so long on a task and getting paid peanuts for it, essentially. And it was just like, I've got to do this task over and over and over and over. And I was like, I'm not going to, like, the one that people were doing a lot of on Unique was jet washing. And I'm just not in the position to just spend 5 hours jet washing to make, I don't even know how much money I was getting. Probably not even... probably like 500, 600 quid or something like that. And then you go and buy food and that costs you 100 quid. Like it just wasn't good for me or the mental. So I completely agree. Like Time 2 players and streamers have got it good, and the economy I think is balanced, and it favors people that don't have a lot of time on their hands, such as myself. I have, you know, like I've said before, 4 or 5 hours a day. And if I want to get some serious RP done, say that takes up an hour or two of my time, then I've got a few hours to actually make some cash. I've had money on the server. Like I know I'm down to 250, but that's purely down to buying armor and bullets and all this sort of stuff. But I have been contributing. The Moist Boys contribute like 20,000 into a pot of money, like a pot, basically gang fund each week, and I've missed one week where I was in Benidorm. So I've always paid my 20k. Like I can make money, that's not an issue. But
yeah,
I want a nice car. I want Ramon to have like a Mustang, like a muscle car or something like that. I think that would really suit him. Like the black what's his name? The black muscle car from Too Fast and Furious.
Yeah.
That'd really suit him, but that's going to cost me an arm and a leg. So, but it's something for me to work towards. You know what I mean? To aim towards.
It does give you a goal. Still, there is things that are goal orientated. You can actually. Do you ever come in off stream or not? I'm guessing with $250, no.
Not really. I occasionally, if I've not got much to do on weekends, I'll put some time into playing offline. But as of late, if I have been around weekends, I've been streaming it just because I'm trying to push my content as much as possible. But then again, I don't like streaming grindy content because there's a lot of viewers that just aren't there for it. You know what I mean? Like, and I completely understand, which is why I don't really watch NoPixel streamers anymore, because I can't, you know, NoPixel 3.0, I used to love watching the streamers and the content because it was good, but then I can't watch them grinding away now for hours.
I think this is one thing I'm slowly getting away from now, but I'm kind of locked in because of NoPixel, how hard it was and how much you had to do. That's why I've grinded loads on time too. I'm kind of locked in that mode. You've
hella grinded. I've seen you.
You put normal.
You put hours. Like, I've tuned into your stream in like the morning. Then I'll finish my 9 to 5, and then I'm about to go live myself, and you're still live, and it's been like 13 hours, and I'm like, Cosney has got. You got the minerals, bro. I haven't. I couldn't do that on a daily basis.
I actually got invited. There's a couple of lads I was chilling with the other night who have a podcast, invited me on. I'd love to get my story out there because I'm sure I look like a fucking nutter streaming
why don't you just flip it around? There's the other guy that does this podcast with you, no?
Who?
I thought that was you and somebody else, no?
There's a team of us. Yeah, we were gonna do. I was gonna get my editor to interview me. To be honest,
that's what I was gonna say. Like, just get somebody else to flip it, and just you have an episode.
We were very, very tempted. I would like. We all want to share our story, don't we? You wouldn't come on a podcast if you didn't want to. Who doesn't want to talk about themselves? I'm sorry.
I don't think I'm very interesting, I'll be honest, but
yeah, but you still want to talk. Everyone has their story, everyone has a life, and like the reason I grind so much is because I just have an image of where it will be, and my images worked really, really well from the start of the server. We had that reputation of don't fuck with them, and if you want something, you speak to them.
Yeah,
and then as everything's got more established, we were on top, and no one can disagree with that. But then you become the target. The same as like Solomon now on top, and we're realizing
everybody
who's the
wants
target.
to take. You want to take down the top dog because you want to be the top dog. You know.
Yeah,
what I mean?
but I thought grind. I suppose it's life and retirement. Grind now, so in the end you can do what you want. And I have to have something to do, otherwise I'll shut off.
Yeah,
I have to get my dopamine. If I don't get it, if I don't get it,
that's what it is, isn't it? That's what I mean about, like, again referring back to NoPixel, and I said, like, it becomes, I don't have the time, and it starts affecting with your mental health. It's the dopamine. I'm not getting the dopamine. I'm not enjoying myself. So I completely.
That's one thing I wanted to say to you, and I wanted to flip it to get a bit juicy and off subject. But you're very open.
I am.
And you're very open about your mental health.
I am.
And you look like you have discussed openly to many people how much you've struggled.
Yeah, I speak about it on my stream all the time. If I'm in a bad place, I'll just tell people and be like, "Look, chat, I'm not feeling it."
What do you do as a streamer now to maintain your best to remain in that good place?
As of late, not really anything. I've been quite good. There's a lot. One thing that I've been taking, I've started taking supplements. That's one thing which I think is really helping me focus. I find that my personal mental health deteriorates a lot when I'm not focusing on a task, or like that task, like I said, with streaming, it's becoming, I'm not enjoying it, sort of thing. But the supplements have really been helping. I've been taking CMOS, lion's mane, which is good for hyperfocus. Like I can when I take lion's mane, I feel like I can actually hyper focus on something. I've had my lion's mane this morning, which is why I feel like I'm good at having this conversation now. So supplements is one thing, but generally speaking, exercise is always good. Personally, I've been lacking on the exercise front. I haven't been in the gym for about a month now, month and a half. But I love getting out on walks and stuff like that. Just going to, I can't do it at the moment because my car battery's dead, but there's a park not too far from mine. It's probably like a 15-minute drive, but it's a huge, it's not even a park, it's like a nature reserve almost. But I like going for a walk around there. And exercise is always good for dopamine and stuff like that. But yeah, I'd say that's about it. Although I've been lacking, but I've been quite fortunate recently, and I feel like I've got good people around me at the moment. Surround yourself by good people is another thing to really say, because you and I have spoke a lot about things out of character. Can't even remember when that was now. It wasn't during time 2. It was more towards the start of the show that you and I were
this.
Because you've done that reading for me where you fucking shit me up.
Do you know what?
you scared. I went to bed that evening terrified. By the way.
So this, I never mind.
You got to give context on what I'm talking about now.
Yeah, I actually use you as a reference all the time, right? So, and I don't think anyone's asked you. So, I don't mind talking about it, but it's not something you blurt out, because they're going to think you're a nutter, and they probably do. But it is coming out, and I have given readings to people in time 2. And the other day I was chilling with Beefy and Kenny, these 2 lads, and someone said something like, Cosney's a mind reader or something, as a joke. I said, actually, I am.
Mm-hmm.
And they thought I was crazy. I said, no, seriously. I said, look, it was like 3 a.m. I said, have I got anyone in my chat that can back me up? There was a couple of people that could.
Mm-hmm.
And I've said, I think over the last week or 2, I keep saying, I call you BomBox, but go into BomBox's stream and ask him. And I don't think anyone's done it yet.
No, nobody's asked. For context, I'll give.
Yeah, you need to explain it. So now I can go to the episode so this man can back me up.
So I was streaming and Cosney just came into my chat and was like, you were chilling for a little bit. And then you just asked me the most weirdest question. You was like, you asked for permission first. She was like, can I ask you something like serious? And I was just like, yeah, go on. And then I can't remember exactly what you asked. I think it was something to do with, like, you said, have you had somebody a young lady pass away around you before? And I was like, no. You was like, a blonde haired lady. I was like, no. So I was like, okay, like, what is he going on about, sort of thing? And then you explained yourself and the reasoning behind it. But then he said, like, you have this blonde haired lady behind you right now. And I was like looking behind me like, what the fuck are you on about? You're scaring me now. And he was like, no, let me come and explain it properly. So I stopped what I was doing in RP and we jumped in a Discord call. I'm so gutted I didn't like highlight it or anything on my channel, because it would have been.
Did you stay live? I can't remember.
Yeah. No, we spoke. I stayed live,
and then you ended, didn't you? Yeah, and we carried on.
And then you and I started getting on a deep personal level about different things that I didn't want to talk about on stream. But the thing that made me like the most think like, fuck, this guy could actually be serious is you said that this lady was telling me to clean the flat. Now the flat 9 times out of 10 is clean. It's clean right now. But I'd had if anybody's been to Iceland and had the My Protein meals, when I'm got a busy schedule, I'll probably have one of those, which comes in a plastic tub. And I love the spaghetti bolognese ones they do. So big shout out if Iceland or My Protein want to sponsor, hit me up. But I'd left those tubs lying around. Basically, I had like 2 next to my desk here. I had like 3 in the kitchen. And he'd asked, have you had like a Chinese takeaway or something along those lines? And I was like, no, I haven't had a Chinese. He's like, pasta? And I was like, well, yeah, I've had these. No, it wasn't pasta. You'd explain basically it was like pasta, but you were referring to pots specifically, like tubs. And he was like, "Have you got any like tubs lying around?" And I was like, "That's where like my jaw dropped." And I was like, "Right, you're freaking me out now," because I knew there was about 6 or 7 of these pots just lying around either in the kitchen or next to my desk here. And that's when you started scaring me again, because you were saying like she's not happy, she's telling you to clean the flat and all this sort of stuff, and I was just I was like, what the fuck? But then that's when I came off stream, and then you gave me a proper reading, and we were getting intimate about different bits and bobs.
I can now reference this, and I will timestamp this. I'll say to everyone, this is the timestamp. Go and hear the story. Because the worst thing is, what I can do is weird as fuck. And I don't mind being called weird. I don't want to be called fake, because I don't charge anyone. I do it because it's always helpful. But like with you, I told you something I would never know.
Yeah. We were talking. I don't mind talking about it anyway. 'Cause like you said a moment ago, I'm open about things. But we're talking about like I'm a very good family man. Like I'm very close with my family, and I grew up around my grandma and granddad. All of my tattoos and stuff that you may see and stuff like that, like on stream, they're all in reference to my family. And we're getting deep about like my grandma and stuff like that, who'd passed away a few years ago, who I used to live with and I cared for, and it was just. Yeah, like it was weirdly, everything that he was saying was like weirdly true, and I was just like, "Fuck!" Like this, I'd never had a reading or anything before, so I was like nervous to have one. But then when I had it, it was like, yeah, it was nice. It was nice. It was scary, but like in a weird, scary way.
Do you want me to freak you out?
Go on. No. I don't want you to freak me out right now.
You sure?
Yeah, go on. Then.
I can tell you one thing.
Go on. Then.
She's still there.
What, the lady?
And she's smiling that you still remember the story point to point. Okay. And it makes her laugh. But she's too scared to come on camera.
Okay.
But she's to your left. To my right. She's to your left, stood there. Yeah, that's it, over there. She stood there. But she, even though you wouldn't be able to see her, she doesn't want to come on camera because she's shy, but she stood there smiling.
Okay, good.
Does that freak you out?
Yeah.
See, I'm used to it, but I can't explain it, but it's really fun. It's good to see people squirm.
Yeah.
But if she's happy, what's the issue?
Oh, it's good, because last time I went to bed and I was pissed off. I was not pissed off. I was scared that she was pissed off and was going to start like dragging me out my bed and stuff like that. So if she's in a good mood now, I can rest easy tonight. That's a good thing.
Whoever she is, I don't think she's family. She lived there or something. She's lived there previously.
I live in it's the flat itself is like modernized, like it's not a bad looking flat, but the flats have certainly been around for some time. You won't be able to see on here, but you might do on when I full screen the cam. You can see another block in the distance, and you can see they're quite old fashioned. Certainly in the I don't even know when they're built, 1950s at least.
You should look into it and see if there's anything in that area. It's a blonde woman, isn't it? Is that what? Yeah, blonde. Yeah, you should look into it.
No, I'm good.
Yeah, but then you might be able to set her free with the story. Maybe the story is what keeps her there. You're good.
She's happy at the moment, bro. Just leave her to it.
Did I read Beetle as well? I can't remember.
Yeah, you've done Beetlejuice as well, because I think Beetle was chilling in the chat as well, and then you and I went off and had our own thing, and then I invited Beetle in after, and then you started giving Beetle one, but then that's when I went to bed.
Yeah, because Beetle lost someone quite close, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Wow, yeah. I'm so glad you can back me. I just don't want to look like a nutter.
No, I don't think you do. I think
I don't because
people are gonna find it weird or like strange, because this type of thing that you do, it's not really explainable. You know what I mean?
I can't explain it.
It's hard to explain, so that's why people find it not necessarily weird, but like it's just like
You have to have it happen to, like, you can back me up and tell your story, but only you have experienced it.
Well, the only reason that I found out was because you were doing readings for people in NoPixel.
Yeah,
You were doing readings for people in NoPixel, and then somebody sent me a clip, and I was watching the clip, and I was like, "What? Cosney can give readings?" And I came into your chat whilst I think this was when I was working from home, so I was still working from home whilst playing NoPixel. And I remember going to the gym on my lunch break, and I opened your stream whilst I was on the treadmill, and I'm there working out, and I put in your chat, I was like, "Bro, I heard you do readings. I want you to give me one." And you was like, "I'll give you one." And then you done one for me on the stream, but I'd closed down the stream, so I didn't see it. Like,
yes,
I remember,
I remember that.
Somebody clipped that and sent it to me and was like, "Here's a reading he's done for you quickly." But you didn't get to see it, sort of thing. And I watched it back, and then that's when I think it must have been the same day or the day after you came in my chat, and then that's when that story happened.
The worst thing is when you're streaming and people figure out, they're like, "Can you read me?" And straight away I'm like, "No, I'm too tired." And then immediately you get a name or something, and you're like, "Oh, here we go." It
just spirals.
Sucks the life out of you so much. I read, do you know Caitlin in the server at all? One of the strippers. She done it in my chat the other day.
Oh, I bet you're giving readings to strippers, ain't you? You love that.
Of course. And I done one for her. I really, really want to bring in a character that does it, but I have two characters that have the same voice. Bringing in a third is just embarrassing. I
think you should try and do a voice. My biggest recommendation to you and to anybody that's watching this, hopefully you've made it this far because we're an hour and a half in pretty much, is that I practiced my voices in my own time. So I would be driving to work, I would be in the shower, and trust me, you sound like an absolute idiot, which is why it's nice doing it
on your own.
On your own, and you sound like an idiot because you're saying certain things, and you, like, I was saying to myself, that didn't sound right, and then I'd practice that word again over and over again until it sounded like how, you know, Ramon, just for background, Ramon as a character started off as a Mexican. Like, I used to do Vagos RP down where the firm used to chill on SVRP, that server that I said I first ever played on, which is why he sounds Mexican. And I say Vato, and I say Mexican words like actual Spanish. Don't say Vato. And for clarity again, because I know we're foreign, so I'm hoping people will hear this, but I don't know.
Oh, they love them.
I used to live in Spain, which is why I can speak good Spanglish. I'm relatively fluent still, although I'm not as good as I used to be when I lived there as a kid. Which is why I think I can do the character a lot easier and say the Spanish words and it sound authentic, if that makes sense. But certainly if you practice something, my granddad used to say it to me, practice makes perfect. And I've always sort of lived by that. So the more that you practice something, even with role play, listen, I might be a good role player now, but look back 4 years ago, I probably was absolutely terrible. If you can pick something up and be naturally gifted at it, that's, you know, you're fortunate enough to be gifted at whatever it is that you do, whether that be football, basketball, whatever. But to actually master a craft, it takes a long time. So go on.
Do you ever speak as Ramon? You probably don't because of how different it is, but do you ever jump out sometime in an argument or something?
No, it's the only thing that I find myself saying, but I say it in like how I'm speaking now, Brummy, is like how Ramon says good one. I'll say like not good one and like stuff like that. I'll say like some of his phrases, but not the voice. That's been, so many people have asked me that question, not only for the Ramon voice, but for the Teddy voice that I used to do, you know, back on Red Dead Redemption and stuff like that. People would be always asking me, like, you know, if you're on the phone or you're speaking to somebody, does this voice not like trickle in? And I'm like, no, like I think it's because it's so different to my voice.
I think, yeah, that would probably help because I can imagine a lot of people just end up in a character and a mindset, and
yeah,
it gives you like brain fog. And if you're trying to be this character too much, it just be I know loads of people that have done
I
it.
couldn't imagine answering the phone like, "Yo, what's good, guys?" You know what I mean? Like at work, imagine it wouldn't be good.
What is it you do for work? What do you do?
I'm a property manager, so I look after rental accommodation, private rentals for landlords, maintenance, all that sort of stuff. I'm the go-to man, dealing with contractors, invoices, all that sort of stuff. It sounds boring, but I enjoy it, and the reason I enjoy it is because I've just been obsessed with property since about 16. I just love houses, and I'm fortunate enough to be investing in property with my mom at the moment. So we've got 2 rentals that we've got at the moment. Although I'm not seeing any money from them at the moment, it's all going into savings to then flip again and flip again and flip again. But once we've got that portfolio, we'll start reaping the rewards, sort of thing. But I'm fortunate to be in that sort of position due to inheritance being left behind by my granddad when I was 10. It was when he passed away. I'm 30 and I'm only starting to see the things now, but it's good. But I've just been, like I say, obsessed with property since about 16. Me and my cousin were going to buy our first house when I was 18, but we never ended up going ahead with it because there was just so much work that needed to be done. And then him and I just, I don't know. Me and my cousin, we're close. He came to Benidorm. We've just been away together, but we're not as close as we used to be. But that's life. Like my life's a lot different. So like I'm very close with my cousins, and I'm fortunate to have that sort of relationship with them because I don't. This is getting personal about me as an individual, but I'm an only child. So growing up, I never had brothers or sisters around. My brothers and sisters, my brothers per se, were my 3 cousins. Like I used to spend every day with them after school. I'd be around their house or they'd be around my house like every day. Or if we weren't together, we were on the phone together. We'd be playing RuneScape together. We'd be, you know what I mean? They're my brothers, but it's life, isn't it? They've got, you know, they're 5 days older than me. They were born and 5 days after I was born. That's why we've been brought up so close. And our mums are sisters. So they're just literally, those 2 used to do things together. And inevitably, we were always together. So, but yeah, as we got older, like I'm 30, no kids, live alone, play games and stream. They're 30, got kids, you know, marriage on the line and all that sort of stuff. But it's just 2 separate lives, isn't it? You know what I mean? I don't have the same life path as them, I guess.
Then
my time will come.
I guarantee they'll be sat in the same. We always want what we don't have. They have these families and all settled down, and they'll be going, "I'd love to play video games on my own all the time."
They do say how much they would love to just sit back and relax at times and just play games, but they just live busy lives.
But then on the flip side, like I'm the same as yourself. I live alone, but then we would want what they have. That's just fucking life, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
That's just like you're in a great position. Like you say, you got a good job, and like you said to me at the start, was like the money to streaming is not important to you, which is really, really good. You come on purely to have fun.
That's literally, I've said it since the very, I'm not even talking like recently when I started streaming again. I'm talking like I've got a decent job in regards to like it pays. I get average salary of the UK. You could probably work it out. You know what I mean? I'm on an average salary, but it's enough to be able to. If I've got a roof over my head, I've got a full tummy, and I'm not thirsty. Like I couldn't care less. I've got a good life. There's a lot more people that are not as fortunate to be in the position that I am in. The thing about streaming is just if I'm going to be on my computer, I'm going to be role playing anyway. I may as well be streaming it. If I can make one person smile, then that's my job done. That's how I've always looked at it. I've never looked at it like this is an avenue that I'm gonna take. This is the career that I want to have. You know what I mean? If it was to blow up and I get in a position to be able to do so, then you know, I've been fortunate enough to do so. But you know yourself, it's very Twitch is very oversaturated, and I think to be able to fully blow and reap the rewards, such as your Kaisenats and your I don't know, Jinxes and people like that.
Well, even you look at Ginge.
You got to be very, very lucky.
I think, yeah, that not to take it away from these people that do incredibly well, but
they're good at what they do. Don't get it twisted.
Yeah, but there's people on 10 viewers that could be even better. I think there is a lot of luck, and there is something that will put you in that. A lot of it is clips. And if you watch a lot of advice, if you want to get, and I'm fucking useless at it.
I don't.
The one thing to get, yeah, the one. I mean, I'm sure Ginge is this. I'm pretty sure everyone found out Jim from him kicking off at GTA races.
Mine, I think the first clip I saw of Ginge was his that fake story about a night out or something like that, where he just wants his fucking chips. Like, give me my fucking chips. If you saw that clip,
I haven't seen that. No,
that's the first one that I saw.
But I think you're very in an oversaturated industry. Everyone's as good as each other, and you just need clips to almost become relevant and to put you. But you need to get to such a big level to not just pay your bills, but to afford to fucking go out.
Yeah,
like it's. And then you end up from my point of view,
that's the cost of living as well, though. In the UK,
well, yeah, that
isn't it? Like,
it's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. I didn't realize like how different it would be living on my own to living with my ex. Like, obviously, 2 incomes coming into one household. I had a lot more cash that was. What's the word, like
expendable?
Yeah, a lot more expenditure to myself, like to be able to go out or to buy this or to buy that or the other, and I don't have as much as that anymore because I'm paying everything myself. You know what I mean? It's actually crazy how expensive things are as a single man.
I suppose, yeah, we moan as a Twitch streamer how hard it is to survive, but it's hard enough to survive with a fucking job. It's yeah, it's so. But that's the thing with like doing streaming full time. The fun is, unless you're doing very, very well, the fun is kind of gone because you kind of wake up like.
You stop worrying, I guess. Is the like. I think one thing that I've noticed with Twitch is that it's very. What's the word? Like, it's very up and down. You've never got a guarantee, which is like with my full-time job. I guess that's my security. You know what I mean? I've got like I'm nowhere near being full-time, as we said at the start of this podcast, but I've got the security of my full-time job, so I don't necessarily have to worry. But there are people that I know that are in positions where, as an example from my perspective, like October I did okay. October I've done really well. August I did okay. September, which is September, which is where you think you get your most revenue, I had my worst month of the whole year.
Yeah, because you lose 25 fucking
No, I didn't. I just didn't. I think I got about 100 and something subs, where normally I sit on about 300. So, but you'd think because it's cheaper that more people are going to sub, but it's just so unreliable, I guess.
I don't think sub temper is the good. If people want to sub, they will. You know what I mean? I don't think sub temper really helps massively. But they're expensive. I mean, one sub is fine; it's reasonable. But people that want to get, I think I had this conversation with Tommy, which the episode will come out soon. We were sort of 10 gifted subs. What, 40, 45 quid? It's a lot of money.
10, yeah. When you get somebody, I think even when somebody drops 5, like I try and big them up as much as possible. Like, you know, 20. That's like £25 that they're spending on me, which I think is crazy. It's crazy.
They're spending £25 on you for the benefit of yourself and others, with no reward to the self other than being just very generous and very helpful. And it's a lot. I think that's why like TikTok does so well, because you can spend your pennies. Do you know what I mean? TikTok, you can have a laugh with a couple of quid if you want, which is, I think that's the beauty of TikTok compared to Twitch. It's very.
Do you multi-stream?
I used to, but I think American servers don't pull people for TikTok. And I think for TikTok, the pull is PD. There is something about flashing lights on TikTok that brings them in, and then your job is to bring them over.
Well, I was told this a long time ago, and I've never gone ahead with it, but I've been told that PDRP is literally a cheat code to viewers. I've been
On
told
Twitch or TikTok?
on Twitch in general. I don't stream on TikTok. I'm just on about as a whole in general. I've been told that PDRP is just a cheat code to viewers because you're always, unless the server is literally there's fucking nothing going on at all, you are always in action. You always have these, like the PD conflicts, the internal conflicts, the meetings and all that sort of stuff. There's always RP happening. That's what I got told. I've never tried it, so I don't know whether it's true or not. But I have been told on multiple occasions that it's a cheat code.
Where this is my job, I have to examine what's doing well, what's not, who's doing well, who isn't, and I'm doing a lot. And I don't think it is. And I was saying this on stream the other day. I think PD is very good for yourself. This is really weird. For your entertainment, PD is really good. You get dragged to everything. You don't have to create stories because you get included. Yesterday, I done a chase with Chris Udo, fucking 30, 40 minutes. I was loving it, but I was locked in for 30, 40 minutes, not saying a word because of the high speed you're going. That content for yourself is awesome. Other people are just watching you chase someone. I don't think PD is I might be wrong. It might be me and PD. I don't know, but
I don't know. I'm just saying that's what I was told, but I've literally, when I say I've never done PDRP, I've never touched PD. Like I've always done gang RP. I would like to trickle into it. I think Time 2 would be a good server to try it out on. But yeah, I've never got around to trying it.
A cheat code. So anyone watching this who wants to be a streamer as a streamer, I think a cheat code is one, going back to dopamine, you have to release a chemical in someone's brain. So if you want to get really deep, your job is to release chemicals in someone's brain. Now, are you going to release chemicals in someone's brain doing recycling for an hour? No. Are you going to release chemicals if you rob someone on a gun run, like transporting guns? Yes, because your viewers will get the dopamine from your reward. And this is another thing back to taking losses. Viewers will experience the loss with you. And it will not release dopamine in their brain because they experience that loss. A loss does not release dopamine. A win does. Which is why losing doesn't do as well, because the chemicals in their brain do not get released. Your chat wins with you, your chat loses with you. You win, your chat wins. You lose, your chat loses. Your job as a streamer is to release dopamine in people's brains. Hence why they can stay locked in for so long. That's why war is so good for content, because it is action and people know that there is something that will be missed if they're not there. And that's why your wars are so well in moist, even though they're so repetitive and it's the same old thing, but people need to know what's going to happen. And they don't know, they can't predict it. You are flooding their brain with dopamine.
I agree.
So that's why, but when, like, with the going back to the PD stuff, like if you're doing a chase, they can 95% of the time predict what is going to happen. They're either going to get away or they're going to get caught. The dopamine starts dropping off. When you're in war, Moist versus EBK, no one knows how this is going to go, and they have to find out. That's the best way to keep viewers locked in, is stuff they need to know. You know yourself, mate, when you had a wild night and people, it's the phrase that makes you happy. Oh, I've got to be up at 5 a.m. It's 3 a.m, but I can't go. And you're like, I am fucking killing it. We've had it ourselves.
Yeah, I've been not only on stream, but also like being a part of like gangs where there's a war going on, and I've gone to bed. I'm then sat in bed, like recently sat in bed watching Tommy stream, and Tommy and Ketchup are sliding on their own, and I'm just locked in. I'm just like, I can't go to sleep yet. I need to see what's going on, sort of thing. I'm just hoping that they go to sleep soon so I can go to sleep, because I need to see what's going on.
That's going back to like getting a bit deep on the dopamine level. The Tommy and Ketchup's dopamine will be sky high. They won't be able to stop. Your brain won't let them.
Yeah.
And then you pass that on to your viewers. That's one thing that I figured out is a key as a content creator, is you need to realize what chemicals to push out of your viewers. That's why Salim does so well, because it's action.
It's chaos, and it's laughter. Everybody loves laughing.
He is, he is so funny.
Who doesn't like to have a laugh? Everybody loves laughing, and he capitalizes on it. His viewers love it, and that's why going back to what I was saying earlier, Salim should never change. He's a funny individual, not only not only on stream but off stream. I have spoke to Salim in a voice call. He's not streaming. Nobody's streaming, but he still does the Salim voice. I don't know what the guy sounds like. He still does that. He's always in character.
Have you never actually heard his voice on TikTok? No. Have you not? There's a couple of clips, and he done it the other day. He put a cam on, but I would love to get him on here, but like you say, he will not break character, so I will not get the real Salim. It's just going to be, you fucking shit.
Yeah, you won't get the true individual.
I'd love to hear his story, because it's a man that doesn't break.
Yeah, he's just always in character. I joined it was literally, I don't even know, 2 nights ago or something like that, and everyone was in a VC at like 2:00 in the morning, and I joined up to see what they were doing. I think Gully, if you remember XL Gully, he was chilling on FIFA streaming to everybody. A couple of people were playing COD or something, and Salim was just yapping in his like in character voice, and I said out loud, I said, Salim, nobody is streaming, like you can just talk normally. And he ended up leaving like a couple of minutes after, but it was it's just
I don't know how he does it, but huge respect, and that's why he's as big as he is.
He's got more energy than I have. I'll be honest. I feel like that's another reason why people do so well on Twitch, is that high energy. People like to have that. I don't know, like Ginger's very good at it. Jinxie as well. Kaisenat, like these big people that you watch.
Where do they get it from?
I don't know. They have all this energy. Whereas for me, like for my stream, and I've always said this, I just want to build a community that I can be personable with. Like, as much as like you call me BomBox, or like somebody might call me BomBox, if somebody refers to me as BomBox in the chat, I just tell them my name's Josh, like call me Josh. Like, I don't like being this internet personality or anything like that. I just want to be personable with people and make people's days, sort of thing. But I've said it so many times on my stream, I don't understand where these people get their energy from, because obviously I live a busy life anyway with work and all that sort of stuff, and streaming and stuff. But me, just naturally as a person, I'm very laid back. I don't like, it's not that I don't like it. I'm just not this high energy persona. I just like to, I like to chill, and I want people to chill with me. But like my character, on the other hand, he can be crazy and have fun and be loud and obnoxious and whatever the hell he wants to be. But that's not me as a person. So you can watch the character, but then when I'm actually talking to chat, it's just how I'm talking to you now.
I think with podcasts, you get the real person. It's not to say someone's fake, but I will say with yourself, behind a camera, you often get the image of someone that they want to present on a camera. I have got to say, you are very similar, exactly the same as you are on stream, to how you are with me now. And that's I'm not trying to slate anyone
as well. I just speak to you like how I'm speaking to you now, sort of thing.
Yeah, which is,
for me as a person, I'm quite cutthroat as well. Like, if you don't like me, you don't like me. Just, you don't have to talk to me. I'm as simple as that. I've gone through a lot of ups and downs over the last sort of couple of years, and I think I've spoke to you about this, but like, I've cut off a lot of people out of my life that were negative and toxic, and one of them being my best friend of 15 years. And it got to the point where I was just like, I can't do this with you anymore. I'm sorry. And I just blocked everything. And it's as simple as that. Like, I think I've had it where chatters come in and they'll be toxic towards me as an individual, and I just ban them straight away. And I'm like, you don't have to be here watching me. Like, I'm trying. All I say on my stream is positive vibes only. Like, literally, I'm always promoting positivity. And if I see anybody shit talking somebody else that's in my community, they're just gone. Like, it's as simple as that. Like, I want people to be nice to each other. I want people to enjoy the content. I want people to just be friends. Like, you know what it's like. You try and push people towards your Discord and stuff like that as well. And I just want people to be personable in there. I'm always throwing like things out there, asking people how their days are going and stuff like that, and trying to get to know viewers on a different level outside of just Twitch. You know what I mean? Like, I've tried to be friends with people, and I see Twitch as like, I don't know, a way of making friends, because they support you, but they're also, you know, they're good people. They're not
you're people you chill with every night, isn't
they're
it?
people
And,
exactly. Although I'm I think you'll find this as well, and this is gonna get a little bit deep. But obviously, going through the breakup that I went through last year, and then living on my own after the breakup, you know, I'm not at home anymore, so I haven't got my mom to just go and talk to. I haven't got, like, my grandma's passed away. I can't just go and talk to my grandma and sit and chill with my grandma. I'm literally, when I started streaming back on NoPixel 4.0 at the start of the year, I was working from home, so I wasn't in an office. I am in an office environment now because I'm at a different company, but I was working at home, so I'd wake up, be alone. I'd do my work alone, go to the gym alone. And then it was nice to start streaming again, because although I'm talking to a screen and I'm not verbally getting anything back from these people, it's like I'm actually having a conversation with people, if that makes sense. So it was almost like I am socializing, although I'm not socializing. I hope that makes sense. But
no, I don't think. I mean, the viewers will always say that to us. We don't realize what we do for them, which we don't. But it's also flip side. Like, the viewers don't realize what they do for us, do they?
yeah, exactly.
I imagine most of them look at us as probably a saving grace for their entertainment, loneliness. But you're like, just because there's 50 of you in here talking to me, you are just as important as me on the flip side. And I don't think they realize. A lot of them, you'll have it yourself. A lot of people do reach out and they're like, thank you, or you have no idea. And you're like, you have no idea. Like, you spending hours watching me when you could be doing anything. Like, they don't understand what it means for people like me and you that want to entertain. And it's a numbers game. We can be happy on 30, but the more the merrier. No one will ever go, I don't want 500 viewers. It's the goal, isn't it? But
exactly,
the viewers don't realize like how important they are. And you can't I say over and over again, you can't put into words how thankful we are for them just sitting in a stream and talking. Even if they don't talk, that extra viewer just makes you feel that you're doing your job properly and the best you can. And it backs you up, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
And they keep us company, don't they?
Yeah, like I couldn't be more great. There's, like I said, I've been through ups and downs this year alone, just from streaming, because of what we've already spoke about with going from, you know, up here to down here sort of thing. But, you know, there's a few OGs that have stuck around through the entire journey, and, you know, some of these people I've given mod to and stuff like that now, because they're always there, and they're the people that, like, you know, they mean a lot to me, although they might not think that they do mean a lot. Like, they help me out on a daily basis with modding. You know, I've got some people that are offering to starting to clip and stuff now. Like, they're trying to push me as much as, you know, I'm trying to push myself, and they, you know, I don't deserve these people, you know what I mean? Because they do a lot. And even just talking to people, you're not getting a response, as we've said. But
don't you look like mod teams are just as good as a streamer? Like, they do so much. I don't know about yourself. I love it with my mod team. Like, I have a rule, and I'm sure you're the same. You never disrespect the mod team, no matter what. I love when someone comes in disrespecting the mod team. You're like, oh, you're getting it now, boy. Like, don't you dare disrespect someone that helps me for free.
Yeah,
I find it so funny.
Yeah, I got their back. They got my back, and they helped me out massively. But yeah, it's been a bit of a crazy journey, ups and downs. But, you know, they've been there through the thick and thin. So
I mean, that's one thing for anyone watching that is starting off streaming or thinking about it. I think me and you can both agree it's life anyway. I mean, it's the story of life, but be ready for ups and downs, and they are tough.
I mean, like we've briefly spoke on it, but like if I'm going through, I don't know why I'm like this either. Like I'm not open about like absolutely everything in my life. Like I wouldn't, if something bad has happened, like I won't sit on stream and be like, oh my God, like you guys, like, you know, get really, really personable. But if I am going through a tough time, I will tell them. Like, I know I've spoke about, because I was somewhat confused at the start of this year, and I thought it was like depression, but it weren't depression. It turns out it's just like ADHD, where like I find it difficult to start tasks. Like I can sit there and procrastinate for hours on end, trying to build up not the energy, just like, I don't know, some form of like mental blockage that's just stopping me from going and doing such an easy task. And it was pissing me off. But like I've opened up about like these kind of things on stream, and there's umpteen people in the stream that I go, I'm exactly the same, dude. It's this, it's that, it's, you know what I mean? So not they're helping me out in more ways than just streaming, you know what I mean? Like when I'm confused in my own head and I'm very vocal about it, and they've been there. And,
I think from a streamer to a viewer, I think, like you say, you mentioned ADHD. I personally think a lot of viewers and a lot of gamers, I would say, whether you've got tinges of it or full blown, it's also, and I sympathize with you so much. 5 minutes to fucking load the washing machine or something. For someone like us is like an hour long, and you do it and you're like, why did that take me so long?
Why did it take me an hour to get round to
but
doing
it sounds it almost, it's really upsetting because you feel like a child.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't, for anyone that doesn't understand, you cannot explain it, the blockage. Your brain will go.
You got people that will just literally just get up and move and just get things done. And
I don't know how they do it.
And then they, you know, they see us and they're like, just get up and do it. And I'm like, it's not that fucking easy. Like I can't just get up and do it. Like
if I said to you right now, I'm going to go load my washing machine quick, I would probably play a video game somewhere else. I would go to the shop, get a Red Bull, come back, do something else, come back. I still haven't done it.
Yeah.
And it's so frustrating.
Mm-hmm.
And you feel like a little kid.
Yeah.
But there's just something in your brain that doesn't let you do it.
Or you basically starting a task, but your brain is going, right, you see something, you're like, right, I've got to do that as well. That, and then you finally get round to actually doing the actual task. I have days like that. I have days like that, but the days that I'm referring to is like, I've got 5 things that I need to get done with a day, and then I'll sit down and then I'll sit there procrastinating for like 2 hours, just sorting things on my phone or just watching TikToks. And I'm like telling myself, Josh, you need to go and start that task. You need to go and I just, it's like almost like a paralysis. Like I just can't get up to start it. And I didn't understand why, but there is, it's an ADHD trait. There is a specific word for it. I can't remember what it is now.
I think, I don't know much about ADHD, and I'm looking, I don't think we produce dopamine as well as a normal person, but your brain will do anything it can to get dopamine. It will kill you to get dopamine. And like you say, scrolling on your phone is dopamine. Loading the washing machine isn't.
Yeah.
So your brain will go, where can I get it? Where can I get it? Hence why people get addicted to drugs. Hence why people eat so much and get really fat. And they know that they're fat. They know these drugs are killing them. But your brain will go, I need dopamine. I'm going to get it.
That's why TikTok is so easy to get engrossed into, because you get in the 60, up to 60-second. It's clips in quick form, isn't it? So you get in the quick dopamine. You get in loads of quick dopamine, which is so easy to just keep on scrolling and scrolling and scrolling.
And that's our job as creators, is sadly to activate that and take you away from stuff that's positive that you should be doing. Well, watch me, don't go and do this.
Not necessarily.
Well, no, it's not our goal, but sadly it's kind of what we need to do.
It's sort of, I guess, yeah.
you're distracting. Like you say, oh, I'm so locked in, I can't sleep. Yeah, because we've activated the chemicals in your brain. I'm really, really sorry, but I have.
Yeah.
But that's the way it is. But Josh, you said to me earlier you were streaming today. I've kept you for 2 hours.
Probably not gonna now. I'm gonna be honest.
Oh, fine. Just but an hour, short and sweet. Do you know what I mean? Get it done.
I'd rather just do a nice long one tomorrow. I think I'll probably just save it till tomorrow. It's cool.
Well, I appreciate you taking your time to come and have a chat. I say it time and time. I love it so much because I don't get to speak to you much because
outside of City, I know
we're not in the same clique and you got your own things. I don't get to speak. So an hour or something to speak to someone like-minded, I absolutely fucking love it. This is one thing I really, really enjoy, and I really, really appreciate you coming on, telling your story, talking about role play, and I know that the viewers absolutely love it as well. So Josh, thank you very, very much for coming on. It's been an absolute pleasure, mate.
Thank you very much.